Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Literal heart attacks, extremely armed and dangerous, and you know what I always say, don't pull it out. In honor of the new film coming out, today we are breaking down and reacting to all of the bone-chilling medical scenes and intense injuries of the movie Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat! Let's dive right in. Ooh. Laceration to the neck. And a lot of times what ends up happening, they cut here in the front, and so it does bleed a lot, but it doesn't go deep enough to go through the airway, and it doesn't go deep enough on either side to hit the major blood vessels, jugular vein, and carotid artery. Oh! Oh man, amputation of the left arm. Most likely an amputation above the elbow. It's not going to kill you this second, but if you don't control the bleeding, you're going to bleed out and die. How do you control the bleeding? You need to tourniquet this. A lot of times we see people get stabbed to the skull or to the head. In my experience, a lot of times these blades bounce off. Sometimes you can actually hit straight through and not hit any brain tissue. The brain is very vascular, so there is a bunch of blood up there. Will it come splurting out like that? Not necessarily. That penetrated into the back left side. You have your scapula that has got to go through if it's high enough. The scapula, the first rib, and your sternum are bones that we use as indicators of massive trauma if they are injured. As you see, like the explosion of blood everywhere, you'd actually expect some brain matter as well. Whoa. Oh, I saw some blood. Yep, laceration to the face. Super easy to fix this type of laceration. Easy to fix. Clean it out. You're going to use normal saline. You're going to anesthetize the area. You're going to inject actually inside the wound with the lidocaine. And then you're going to use sutures that you're going to remove in 5 days or so. Penetrating wound to the abdomen, probably into the tissue about 2 or 3 inches, probably causing an injury to the abdominal wall muscles. Probably not getting into the organs yet, but there's always a chance you're hitting the intestines. Increase the risk of stool being leaked out into the abdomen, getting into our bloodstream, causing sepsis. Oh, left upper chest, just below the clavicle or at the clavicle, there are major blood vessels coming off the aorta. They're not 100% damaged yet because you haven't pulled that blade out. Once it's pulled out, now you have a big hole that's going to bleed out. Is that a mortal injury? Not sure.
Not sure.
Might just be tired from the hypothermia. Oh. So cool. Sub-zero. Freezing somebody's arms like this in areas where temperatures are below 0, you do have these injuries. In my training, we had an individual that lost both hands and feet because of bad, horrible frostbite. Ruh-roh. Oh. Bilateral amputations. He can't put a tourniquet on himself, so it's most likely going to bleed out. When you lose a lot of blood, lightheadedness, dizziness, going to pass out. Then from there, you continue to bleed, you're going to succumb to your injuries. Oh. Oh, look at all those lacerations to the face. Probably going to cover with some antibiotics if this is an animal. Oh. A big blade like that, left leg into the soft tissue versus the femur. The femur is that big, huge bone of the upper thigh. You could penetrate through and have a blade stick into it. Can cause a fracture, increase the risk of bone infection. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Puncture wound with an arm straight through the thoracic cavity. They get the shape of the heart appropriate. We got some blood coming out in the emergency department. Sometimes people will come in and the heart is not working, but we put them on bypass or ECMO, which is extracorporeal membrane oxygenation. Oh, stuck in the right shoulder clavicle area. You do have a chance of hitting lung tissue, but right there you have your subclavian vein and artery. So you can hit those major structures that are coming off of a branch of your aorta. You can also break through the clavicle right there. You might even hit part of the head of the humerus. If you've ever gotten into a confrontation with someone, your body can go straight into fight or flight mode. That's why I created Chillax by my company Life Happens. It's a doctor-formulated stress support supplement to help your body actually calm down when things feel a little too tense. It's at lifehappens.com or on Amazon. Whoa, classic Mortal Kombat. Flawless victory.
Flawless victory.
Excellent depiction of the potential of reality, but not compatible with life. Super bad injury. It will never come to the emergency department because you'd be declared deceased on scene and taken to the morgue. But he's getting blood all in his face, getting in his eye, which increases the risk of bloodborne pathogens being transmitted. Oh, fracture dislocation of the elbow. Common injury that we do see, usually from falls, but that's a rotatory injury. The olecranon gets fractured or dislocated. Definitely get the x-rays, make sure the neurovascular intact, and then put the elbow back into place. Amazing. Mid-forearm amputation just above the wrist. I mean, he has 3 other arms, but this is something to where you can potentially reattach or have a good prosthesis in the future. They do a good job of having it spraying out. The spray out would be the arterial bleeding, so it should pump every time you have a heartbeat, versus a venous is going to just pour out because it is a low pressured system. Ooh, that is something that I don't want to have to sew up in the emergency department. That will take so long. Oh. Oh, so cool. So gnarly. The intestines are funny because they are pulling out. Maybe we see a little bit of mesentery, right? The mesentery connects all the intestines together. Usually it would just pour out in one big piece versus just, seeping out of the wound like this. But it could happen, especially if the laceration was deep enough and you actually cut some of the connecting tissue. Wow, so fun to watch. So fun to talk about in the sense of the injuries from a medical standpoint. And I was actually entertained watching this, so it was a lot of fun for me. If you guys enjoyed this and you want to see more, definitely check out this playlist right here. Let me know in the comments if there are any other shows, movies, games you want me to check out. And as always, do me a favor, subscribe, turn on your bell notifications, and hit that like button for me. Thanks so much for watching, and stay healthy, my friends.